Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you happen to be. Todd, I was looking at the analytics, and we have officially an international audience. People are watching these from everywhere except Antarctica. We're going to work on that. We're going to market. We're going to get them on.
Yeah, it's been actually pretty awesome to wake up in the morning and get some LinkedIn messages with people saying that they're like a new invite or something like that on LinkedIn, and people talking about how they watch the show and they're from India or anywhere. I think I had someone from Pakistan reach out and say they were watching YDS. I love it. Hopefully you're getting the information that you need to do what you're going to do or what you're hoping to accomplish.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of activity lately, especially on LinkedIn, that people are passing their assessments.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting new jobs. They're interviewing better. They're learning. They're leveling up. That's why we do this.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know how we can help in the comments. What can we do to help you get better? And by doing so, you're helping us get better. Kind of a nice cycle there, right? All right, let's jump right into it. If you don't know,
get right into it.
Check out the description. I'm Ryan. That's Todd. We're professional Scrum trainers with Scrum.org, and we're going to answer today's question. Should a Scrum team measure employee satisfaction? What do you think there, Todd?
So this actually came, I was speaking with a company that I had done quite a bit of work with, and I remember really early on that we did some really simple, 3-question, scale 1 to 10, and then 2 open-ended question employee satisfaction survey, and it cost a lot of change, right?
Yeah.
One of the things was you're asking us to be on a Scrum team, but we're spread throughout the office, right? And the CIO got that information and was like, "Well, let's fix this, right? It's just something simple, but let's fix it. Let's make it a better office environment." So I think that the answer is absolutely. And there's a lot of mechanisms that you can use to do that. It can be as simple as scale 1 to 10. Would you recommend this company to someone else to work here or something like that? Or it can be as complicated as something like Glint. But I think that if we want to create environments where we want autonomy, we want teams to be satisfied, we want individuals feel like they have a voice, then I think this is a great way for us to start opening that door. How about you, Mr. Ripley?
Yeah, it's interesting. I first of all, yes, I think this is a must-do thing. Something that we did in a past life. We actually, well, first of all, let me talk about why I think it's important. I think that's an important. Let's start there. Why I think we should do this. Look, when it comes to metrics, there's a lot of metrics that I think we all cover. Burn up, burn down. We're basically checking our progress towards some kind of, completing a backlog or a goal. So I think we track that. I think we track cost really well. But then there's when we release, I think that gets tracked and probably a lot of productivity stuff. But look, employee satisfaction and sales, there's correlations there. I think Tony Hsieh in the book, Delivering Happiness, the story of Zappos, a lot of research in that book. I think it ties employee happiness or employee satisfaction to customer satisfaction and therefore sales. It's critical. Plus, look at after the second release on this chart, Todd, something happened that's really interesting. Sales shot up. Employees got upset.
Mm-hmm.
And now, that gives us some insights into what's going on. We don't want that trend to continue because as the employees got upset, look, sales leveled out. But hopefully as that engagement goes back up, the sales go back up. But what we want to do is yes, emphatically yes. There are correlations between employee satisfaction and sales. Scrum Masters can track this. Now, the big question that we're going to get in a follow-up is how do you track it?
Mm-hmm.
And so Net Promoter Score is an option. Something that we did in a past life, we took Spotify. They have a 12-question survey about employee engagement. And we turned that into a Google spreadsheet, a Google Doc where you could answer yes or no. We tracked data. We looked at trends. There's all sorts of ways you can do this. But I think the most important thing, as you said, Todd, just ask, would you recommend this company to someone else? Yes or no? Start there and build it out.
Mm-hmm.
But simple tools like the Google tools are simple. Tracking trends is simple to do on their Google Sheets. But what we want you to do is add this to your mix of metrics because, like I said, there is a correlation. If you check out Delivering Happiness, between employee satisfaction, customer satisfaction, and ultimately sales.
Yeah. And this is something that I can't think of a engagement that I was on or a company that I was working with where we didn't do this. Now, the feedback that you get, and this is going to go back to a point that we've made a lot. Feedback that you get, what you see, it's up to you to adapt. And I've seen a lot of that not happen. I've seen a lot of employees say things in these surveys and nobody take action on it. Oh, they're just complaining.
Yeah.
Right. And then you also start seeing people leave. So,
well, I mean, how many times have you been either an employee, a stakeholder, a customer, a user, and you've been asked for feedback, right? So they've said, look, we want to hear from you. And then when it's all gathered, there's either like denial around what it means, or there's just your concept about teams and companies failing to adapt. I think that's the battlefield for the next 10 years, Todd. I think that was hugely insightful when you said it 3 years ago. But how many times have you just seen this where they collect all this feedback, they have all this great data, it leads to clear conclusions, but they just don't have the will to either admit a mistake, change course, pivot, whatever it is that's holding them up, they just can't do it.
Yeah.
How often do you see that?
A lot. And this survey is, from what I've seen in the past, is a big one with, they're just complaining. Let's not change.
But you know what? I think that should be the commitment. If you're going to decide that you're going to measure employee satisfaction, you need to make visible what you're going to do with that data and how things are going to how engagement's going to be improved, the things you're intending to do, and make sure people see that constantly. If they don't see the change of it, you could actually have this whole program completely like snap back like a rubber band right in your face. And that hurts. It stings, right? It could really cause damage and people to exit.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes.
Yeah.
But with the caveat of you need to do something with the information you get.
Do. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, everybody. You know what time it is? End screen time.
End screen.
Like and subscribe so you don't miss a video. We've got some great ones coming up. And we've been going live more and more, spending an hour online, chatting with all of you, taking your questions. You don't want to miss that. So like and subscribe so that you know when that happens. Check out the socials. We tend to we announce class discounts, book things, all sorts of stuff going on. So make sure you're following Agile for Humans on all the socials. Check out the videos below. The algorithm thinks you'll like them. We do too. Leave us your questions and comments. Your questions and comments turn into videos, and we want to keep doing that. So leave us a question, leave us a comment, and we'll see how we can help. Let us know what we can do to help you advance your Scrum practices, to fix your Scrum, to help you on a daily basis. And we'll see what we'll take your feedback, and we promise to do something with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
For Todd Miller,
Yes,
I'm Ryan
will.
Ripley. Yes, we will go forward. Do great things. We'll check in with you tomorrow.